Good morning. Welcome to a September 24th edition of my weight loss journey. Um, Today I have a few things to talk about. It's been a week since I've been on the air, so let's um, let's talk about a bunch of things. Things are actually going pretty well, and I'm pretty happy about that. I've done something recently which has really helped jumpstart it back into showing gains. They're losses, but we'll call them gains because it's towards my goal. Um, let's start with the first good news. Get my handy dandy technical spec out here. This is where I'm at this morning. This is the second time actually so far I've actually been in the 60s. Um, those are the numbers you want to see going as fast as possible, as healthy as possible. And I'm glad I'm starting to finally get there. Last time I spoke, I had hit a wall. I had that first 10 that left, but since then, nothing was happening. In fact, it was creeping up a little bit and then coming back down again. So um, there was nothing to do. I'm sorry. It's not that there was nothing to do. There's nothing I was doing, and it's a reality check for me. Now at that time, it was the first 10, and I had said when I had gotten the physical a month ago that was like the apex highest I was at. So there was probably some level of hey, that first five or six or seven maybe might go away pretty quickly. And it did. But more has to go. And that's what I'm trying to go for here. If you've been listening, what had happened was I had got that physical a month ago, and the numbers came back, and the numbers were telling me just bad information. Things I didn't want to hear. Now, I was expecting it to be bad because I know my lifestyle. I understand what's been happening to me. As I've said before, everything that's happened to me is my fault. It's my indulgences in alcohol, in food, in just being lethargic or not having an outdoor active lifestyle is how I get from where I was to where I got to. So I take full accountability and responsibility for it. But now I need to take that responsibility and aim it towards a more healthier life. I have two young ones, two boys, 1 and 3. I want to see them graduate college. Would like to see them get married. I'll be an older man then, but as long as I'm an alive man and a relatively healthy man, it'll be all worth it. So, this is the number I talked about just now. Now, what happened was the last time I was still at the 272, so in a week I saw gains of 5 pounds, and that's fantastic. I love it. I would love to see that every week occur. But you do have to make certain changes to make that happen. Cravings have to be cut back. What you put into yourself has to be improved in such a way. Now, I did one more thing. This is going to be a little bit personal, but I want to be honest with what's going on here. Twice before in my life, I had gone to like a holistic person. She's a nurse, but she's got a machine that actually helps you out with some short-term gains, and possibly by improving what I put into my body and making it nutritious, it will keep the gains rolling to something that I want, to something that I need, to something that'll feel good and look good. So, what did she have for me? This is where we start talking about colon hydrotherapy. Pretty much a complete flushing out of your poop chute that will get rid of all this excess, that crud that's been sitting in there, no pun intended, but that's just in your intestines, and it will literally flush it out and clean things up and make them smooth and well running and everything else. And very few places are actually to be found that do this. I first heard about this about a decade ago, and I was extremely hesitant to even try it. But eventually I did find a place that did it, and it was concerning. It was unnerving a process. But it's amazing. You see, instant changes. And in this instance, I've seen changes that have progressed since then. And I'm going to tell you about it. So what is colon hydrotherapy? Essentially, you sit back in almost like this recumbent bike position. And the machine has this little hose. And you do have to insert this into yourself about the length of about one knuckle. Which, you look at it, that's well more than enough. But it's okay. And you insert this, and then she turns on this water. And this water slowly enters your body. And as it does, it kind of bloats up your colon, bloats up your intestines a little bit. Because it's water and it's pressure. And then what you do is you release it like you actually would normally in a bathroom. And all the water comes out and all this liquefied shit leaves your body. Now, if your colon is so long, it'll come in a little bit and then clean that out. And then it will come in a little bit further and then clean that out and come a little bit further. The more you hold in, the more pressure builds, the more it actually takes the stuff that's in there on your linings and everything else and flushes it out. The whole thing lasts between like 40 minutes and an hour. It's an experience. I mean, it's not anything that you gain pleasure from. It's not anything that you, let me go again next month. I mean, like I said, this is the third time I did it in a decade. And generally I do it around the same time too, where it's like, I want to make changes. Let me see if I can do something. And I just hope this time is the time that I'm making the changes, and the changes will be permanent. It's possible I'll never have to do this ever again. I mean, some people swear by it. Some people say, hey, get it every month or get it once a year, whatever else. I am very, very, very infrequent a visitor of this place. So, but the nicest people work there. So I went through and I had this thing done. Now they had a scale there, and I totally forgot to jump on it before it happened and jump on it directly after it happened. But the next day, I already noticed that I was a little over 2 pounds were gone. We're talking about literally shit that's built up in your colon and your intestines that's just sitting there. It's just hanging out there. It's not something that's moving through the system and coming out of your body. So we do carry waste. And this is one way that you can actually flush this out of your system, literally, so that now when more comes through the whole digestive system, it will come through your body and not get stuck along the way. When I had gotten there, you always wonder, some people's motivations, but the person who runs this place, like I said, an extremely nice person, very helpful, just took one look at me and immediately said, wow, you are just full of gases. She put her hand on my belly when I was laying down before everything started. She goes, I can feel it. You actually have, there's a pressure. It feels solid because there's a pressure of gas inside your system. And when I was done and sitting in her office, she goes, I can noticeably see the difference. Now, I want to believe her. And hopefully this is true. But she didn't just say it and that's it. I mean, I asked questions like, what are you talking about, you see gases? I don't look like a gas to me, but maybe people will look at me differently. She was saying that there are things that happen, especially when you eat certain carbs or great amounts of carbs. The carbohydrates turn into sugars into your body. And in your body, they tend to get stuck in a way and start to ferment. And it's the fermentation process that causes little bubbles of gas in your system. They will stay in your digestive tract and do this. And that's why some people are bloated, because there's physically a little bit of gas just pressuring up in there. Now, it kind of doesn't make certain amount of sense. It's like if that gas is there, when the next train comes down the tunnel, wouldn't it kind of like do something with it and knock it out of the way or what have you? But I guess it doesn't. Our bodies are unique. Our bodies are amazing, and there's so much going on that we don't know. Even the people who know don't know all of it, but sometimes you find someone who has that little piece of information, that little piece of knowledge that will get you going, to the next state of understanding. So she told me all this, and like I said, I did it. I saw some gains immediately. Like, so the next morning when I woke up, I'm always curious, and I jumped on a scale, and it was 2 pounds less immediately. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Hopefully I'll see more of this going on. I was hoping to see like 5, 6, 7 gone, but it's 2, and we learned to take the small gains in our journey and just go with it. Just hopefully just see more every single day. So this was 2 days ago when I did this. And then yesterday, I checked myself again, and it was down another pound. But the best thing about this pound, this is now what I'm going to call the magical pound, was it was in the 260s. It was 269 even, flat. So I'm saying, okay, I finally made it. It took, almost 3 weeks into my journey to get there, but now I'm in the 260s. Now I just have to stay in here and get down and try to race into those 250s. In order to do the marathon, 26.2 miles, you got to do 25 miles. In order to do 25, you got to do 24. Everything builds upon itself. If I want to get down to even the 240s, I've got to journey through the 260s and then through the 250s to get to the 240s. Anything short of having my leg cut off can get in there fast. And that brings us to today. So today, I understand what I'm doing day by day. I'm still doing a little bit of that slim fat stuff, but she was telling me get off of that. So I'm just going to use up what I currently have, and then I'm done with that. But I really, and I was trying to express this to her as well, I'm only doing it to get on that meal replacement so I can get past those breakfast cravings. And the breakfast cravings typically, and I started to look at it, most breakfasts appear to be just carb rich. Bagels, toast, muffins, croissants, pancakes, waffles, even the syrup or butter you put on there. Most cereals, even if you're going to like Total or some wheat bran or Cheerios, there just seems to be just carbs, 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 carbs. Because you can make an egg, but how many people are going to make an egg? Just an egg. You have to put it on something. I've had friends make fun of me because I love doing wraps for everything. Because you can put anything in a wrap. All this leftover food you have in the fridge, you can cook it up in a skillet and throw it in a wrap, and you're making your own burrito no matter what it is. So you do a breakfast burrito or a breakfast wrap. But now you've got an extra wrap carb sitting there. So when I finally off these shakes, I'm going to have to find some really good breakfasts out there. If you've got any that you can think of that you can share with me, please do. And the only thing I have is no yogurt, no berries. Those are staples of things I don't touch. I don't even touch coffee. I've never in my life had a cup of coffee. I refuse to. So I had to work on what, now that I'm doing meal replacement and going back into meals, what can I do that will still show me these little gains? So that's what happened this week. Actually, that's what happened in the last 3 days. I had some colon hydrotherapy for an hour. I talked to somebody who gave me some information. She even gave me some of these almost like flashcards that showed other ways to cleanse. She showed me a liver cleanse that takes about a week or two. She even suggested doing a gallbladder cleanse that takes about a weekend. and she had certain things on there that you want to do. Even so much things like once you take certain like herbal tea or some other kind of supplement, when you go to sleep at night, you have to do it before you go to sleep. But when you go to sleep, sleep on your right side for at least a half hour. And that looked ridiculous to me, but apparently your gallbladder might be on your left, and to sleep on your right would mean that if there's any like green stones, I don't know what they are, but that's what she called it, they would physically fall out of the gallbladder and get into your system. And she goes, then you might actually see you pass them some other day later. I'll give it a try when it's time to do it. She also told me, and I'll have to work on this pretty amazingly, says it appears that I might be just carrying an excess of water weight. That the body has just absorbed the water so much that things look puffy, I guess. So she gave me a couple tips on how to do that we can kind of reabsorb the water, or unabsorb the water might be a better way to put it, away from the body and get it out. Which was amazing too, because I told her, I said, well, what's the issue with having too much water? I mean, if you're supposed to have 8 glasses of water a day, and I do drink a lot of water when I'm working, or a lot of unsweetened tea, how is it a bad thing all of a sudden? And then she gave a formula saying, like, take your weight divided by 2, and that's the amount of, I think it was ounces of water you should have a day at max. I'll have to go back to see if it was ounces in general. But yeah, so I'm gonna try doing that too, and hopefully, if I'm carrying a bunch of water weight, and water weight is not light, if I can get rid of half of it safely, I might be in an even better position and be a lot closer to goals that I want. So there you had it. I had a flush, saw 2 pounds go. The next day was another 1. The next day was another 1.5. So, I don't think it's for everybody, but everyone can try it. And if you need a jump start as well, perhaps. In the meantime, I'm feeling good. I'm actually now starting to get a positive light in my eyes with this journey, and I just want more success. So in any event, thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.